gals, today I am going to be getting rid of some books. Hi, if you're new here, this is I Don't Know What I'm Doing. I do typical booktube content, and today I'm going to do an unhaul because I'm tired of these books being in my house. Most of these you have probably seen in various wrap-ups or money wasters or what have you. A couple of them I read in either December or January. I think just January, actually. So we're starting early with getting rid of some books, so let's go ahead and talk about it. Okay, the first two I'm unhauling are Ilium and Olympos by Dan Simmons. This is a duology, a science fiction duology. I don't know much about it. It's supposed to be like modern retelling of the Trojan War or some shit. I got about 2% into this one and I called it quits. And I'm gonna tell you why right now, because I can. Okay, here we go. A dramatic reading for you. He had come not to visit Ada, but to seduce her. This is what Damon did, seduce young women. That and collect butterflies. The fact that Ada was in her mid-20s and Damon was approaching his second 20 made no difference to him. Neither did the fact that Ada was his first cousin. Incest taboos had eroded away long ago. Genetic drift was not even a concept for Damon. But if it had been, he would have trusted the Firmary to fix it. The Firmary fixed everything. Damon had been visiting Artis Hill 10 years earlier in his role as cousin and trying to seduce Ada's other cousin, Virginia, out of sheer boredom, since Virginia had all the attractiveness of a Voynix when he had first seen Ada nude. By the way, a Voynix is like a whatever, future ox or some shit, so bye. So, as you can see, I'm getting rid of these two. I will not continue in this book. I will not read the sequel, and they're going to be out of my house, and I'm so happy about it. The next book on the chopping block is Good Morning, Destroyer of Men's Souls by Nina Renata Aaron. I did very much enjoy this. This is a memoir. This is talking a lot about addiction and love, but honestly, I don't have a lot of space on my shelves currently, and really and truly, I don't think I'm ever going to revisit this, so I'm happy to donate it either to my local library or to, you know, sell it for credit at our local bookstore. Not all of these I'm getting rid of because I hate. The next one is the first volume of Attack on Titan. I actually can't remember if I've talked about this in an unhaul already or not, but I bought this a long time ago, like a couple years ago, I think, because my spouse and I watched the first season of the anime and were really entertained by it, so I wanted to try out the manga, and I honestly felt it translated better to an anime. The action sequences in here just weren't very entertaining, and then I found out a whole bunch of crazy shit about both the manga, the anime, and the author, so I'm not gonna keep this anymore. And I didn't find it entertaining enough to continue in the series, so I just don't want the first one in my house. Okay, the next one is another one I can't remember if I've already talked about, but don't think I have, and that's The Postmortal by Drew Magary. If you saw my worst books of 2023, this was on there. I hated this. This was a Christmas gift the previous year. This is a horror dystopian. I don't know. This is following I can't remember if our main character's named or not, and I don't really care. It's following a man as a cure for immortality is discovered, and his life throughout the ages, as, you know, he takes the cure or not and what happens with it. And I thought this book was terrible, and I think it's a really good cover, but again, I don't really have I only have one book right now, I think, posted up on a bookshelf with the cover out like this, and I don't want to keep this in my house, even if the cover is interesting, just because I hated the book. That's gonna be a theme of this, by the way. Okay, the next one up is a long time coming, and that is We Had to Remove This Post by Hannah Burvoets. This another one that was on my worst books of 2023 list. I hated this. This is a horror novel following Kaylee, a young woman who is basically being a content moderator and telling her story after she has left the company. This was terrible, and I hated this, and I've kept it for a couple reasons. Number one, this was a Christmas gift, and I always feel really bad getting rid of Christmas gifts in the first year after they're given, but also because this just has a very pretty and engaging cover. But I've just been looking at my shelves while I've been doing some, post-Christmas cleaning, and just kind of figuring that, like, I need to get rid of shit unless I really want it, and I don't want this, and a compelling cover is not good enough reason anymore. The next book I'm going to talk about is The Deep by Alma Katsu, another one that was on my best of list. I think it's an honorable mention, maybe? not best of, worst of, the opposite of what I said. This is a horror novel following a young woman as she is on the Titanic and the Britannic, and it's kind of ghosty, it's kind of spooky, and really kind of terrible. Yeah, I'm kind of done keeping bad books on my shelves because I feel bad about buying them, and so I am gonna go ahead and get rid of this even though I paid a full price for it, and hopefully someone at the used bookstore will see it and love it and pick it up for really cheap. The next one up is The Restless Dark by Erica T. Waters. Nope, just Erica Waters. Why'd I throw a T in there? I don't know. This is a young adult horror novel following a couple of young women as they go to join the hunt for a serial killer's remains, sponsored by a podcast. I actually just read this in January, and I'm not getting rid of it until I do my January wrap-up so I can have the physical copy of the book to hold up. But overall, I just really didn't like this. I don't love young adult horror. This was my fault for putting it on a list, and someone bought it for me for Christmas. Not last year, but the year before. So I am gonna get rid of it because I've had it long enough that I don't feel bad donating it or selling it. Okay, next one is The Diabolic by S.J. Kincaid. This is a young adult science fiction horror action something. I don't know. I read this a really long time ago and I found it really interesting. I really enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. But I tried to pick up the sequel a couple years ago, like several years after I read the first one, and I really hated the sequel. I did not finish it, in fact, and honestly, I just don't think I'm ever going to revisit the first in the series, and so I don't want to see it on my shelves anymore, taking up space when I have a desk full of books that's gonna need to go on shelves eventually. Next one I'm gonna talk about is An Emotion of Great Delight by Tahirih Mafi. This I am mostly just going to get out of my house, primarily because I thought it was good, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like an all-time favorite, and it's one, again, I don't think I'm gonna revisit. This is a young adult literary fiction following a family shortly after 9/11 happened, and they are a Muslim family, and all the racism and Islamophobia that they experience in their small American town. It's very good, very interesting, but again, not something I think I'm going to revisit. Okay, the next one is The Death of Jane Lawrence by Caitlin Starling. This is another one I think that made it to my most disappointing of 2023, something like that. This is a gothic horror following Jane Lawrence. That's her married name as she is setting up her marriage. This was very disappointing. I really didn't have a good time with this. And I have a section on one of my bookshelves for all like solid black spine books, but whenever I look at it and I see this one over there, I get really frustrated and reminded of the bad time I had while reading this, so I'm gonna get rid of it and take it back to the used bookstore where I bought it in the first place. The next one is Eileen by Otessa Moshfegh. This is a mystery thriller following Eileen as she is going to her day-to-day life and going to her job at a prison, and she meets a woman who starts working there, and then stuff gets a little weird. Overall, I just didn't find this engaging, and this is another one that I look at and I see it and I remember that I paid full price for it, and I get very upset because of how disappointed I was, and I don't want to see it on my shelves. Next one is Desert Creatures by Kay Chronister. This is another one that was a Christmas gift, but now that like 1 year mark is gone, and I am going to get rid of this. I think it's got a very gorgeous cover and I love it. This is a young adult horror following Magdala, and I hit my glasses. There's a lot of like ecological devastation and stuff going on, but I didn't have a great time with this one, and as pretty as the front of this is, I don't see it on my shelves, so I'm gonna go ahead and let someone else have a go with this and hopefully love it more than I did. Okay, next to last book is We Are Legion, We Are Bob. I can't remember if I did this in my last Unhaul or not. I probably did, but I just wanted another reason to talk shit about this book. I hated this. This was bad. This is terrible. I don't want it in my house. This is a science fiction following a man named Bob Johansson as he goes and signs up for basically this service where they'll freeze his brain and sort of regenerate it into an AI when the technology catches up, and he then gets put into a machine and goes and explores the galaxy. This is terrible. I hate this. This is bad. Every time I see this, I get really frustrated, and I get really frustrated at myself for not knowing my reading better and for not having read this back when I would have given it a lot more excuses about why it was so shitty, and instead read it last year when I just got angry. So I went out of my house and it's gonna go. Okay, the last one might be a bit of a surprise if you saw my November wrap up, but it's Babylon's Ashes by James S.A. Corey. I love this. I gave it 5 stars, but this is the only book in the Expanse series, the main series, that I have a hardcover in. And when I talked about it in that video, my beautiful spouse who edits my videos saw me complaining about it being a hardcover versus the soft cover I have for the others, and bought me a used of the soft cover. So this is gonna stay on my shelves, and this is gonna go to some lucky person. And I'm so excited that all my books match now. Oh my god, you're my favorite person. I love you. I'm so happy. Looks so good on my shelves. I'm just gonna sit here and hug this for the end of the video because I'm so happy. Okay, that's it. That's me getting rid of some books and telling you why. I hope you're having a lovely day. Please feel free to do algorithm things if you feel like it, like, comment, subscribe. Please tell me down below what books you're getting rid of or what books you bought. I don't know, just leave me a comment. I just want to talk to people. Let's do this. Let's have a conversation. Okay, I will see you next Friday, and yeah, that's it. Bye.